Welcome back to the channel, everyone. My name is Shrev, a bureaucrat of the Sly Cooper Wiki, and today, as a part of our unboxing series, we'll be looking at the North American release of Sly 2 Band of Thieves. So we have the Black Label version, the initial release, as well as the Greatest Hits Red Label version. The Black Label version here, which I mentioned was the initial release, was released on September 14th, 2004, and the Greatest Hits release was released almost a year later on August 25th, 2005. Looking at the front covers, we see that they are pretty much identical. Unlike the North American release of Sly 1, Sly 2 has identical cover art. Granted, there is a bit of a shifting due to that Greatest Hits banner. Otherwise, though, they are identical. Moving to the spine, we see the differences aren't really there. Other than the Greatest Hits shifting the title down a little bit, there's really no difference. We still have the same SCUS number, SCUS 97316. So nothing really too dramatic there. Moving to the back, and well, so far this is a pretty boring unboxing, and it's going to continue that way for a little bit because they are identical in the back as well. I scanned both covers and looked at the fine print as well as everything else, and they are identical. For sake of completion, though, we will go through the back cover, at least one of these. So we just have a quick description of the characters in the game in general. Remember that in Sly 1, we weren't able to control Murray or Bentley, at least in their sort of full forms. Like, we were able to control Sly, whereas in Sly 2, we are able to control all three characters very freely. So there's just a really quick description of who Murray is, who Bentley is, and generally what they're all about with Sly. Really no mention of the clockwork parts besides a quick description of the story saying that they are up against the Claw Gang, but otherwise not really a mention of a villain or the gang, at least on the back. Other than that, though, really they're identical, and there's really not much to the game, at least on the back cover. Don't worry though, the inside does get a little bit more interesting. Moving to the inside, we have, on first glance, pretty much identical discs and manuals. Unlike the Sly 1 unboxing, the discs are the same in Sly 2. There's no difference other than the red banner for the Greatest Hits version. But yeah, no, there's really not much to talk about with the discs themselves. The manuals are also identical. I did scan the manuals and read through each and every page, and they are identical. There's not really much to say about those. However, I say almost identical because if you go to the back, they are a little different here. So on the Black Label, the initial release, the one that released back in 2004, we have an advertisement for the Sly 2 official strategy guide from Brady Games, which I'll unbox in a future video, but it's essentially an advertisement for the strategy guide. If you wanted those or if you needed those, they were there. Moving to the Red Label version, we see an advertisement for Sly 3, not the Sly 2 strategy guide. Keep in mind that Sly 3 was releasing in North America around September 2005, so the release of the Greatest Hits version of Sly 2 was about a month before release of Sly 3. Hence, it would make a little sense to have the Sly 3 advertisement on the back of the Greatest Hits Sly 2 manual. Interestingly enough, this isn't the final logo, not by any stretch. This might have been in early development, considering that the release date is more of a release window, but it's still interesting to see what's sort of there. And it also does have a spoiler for Sly 2, because you never see Bentley in a wheelchair in Sly 2 up until the... Actually, no, you never really see him. You see him in the comics, but not actually in Sly 2. So, bit of a spoiler there, but whatever. Now, another difference, and probably the most compelling reason to own one of the Black Label versions in the first place, one of the initial releases, is the fact that you actually get a full-blown Sly 2 poster. That's right, so you don't actually get this in the Black Label release, and it's actually a little hard to capture all of it on camera, so hopefully there will be some b-roll of the front and back. But essentially, you've just got a full-fledged poster of, sort of Murray, Sly, and Bentley. You've got the sort of shadows, and you've finally got the logo as well as the game itself. Flipping over to the back, you have actually maps. I'll flip this over a bit. You have detailed maps of the location and the job markers of the first 3 worlds of Sly 2. So you have Dimitri's first world in Paris, Rajan's first world in India, and Rajan's second world in India as well, in the Indian jungle. So that's pretty cool. You don't actually see these with the second iteration, the Greatest Hits release, but you do see these with the Black Label release. So that's pretty cool to see that they included such a thing with a Sly Cooper game. And it's kind of nice. It's probably the most compelling reason to own this version over over the Red Label version. Before we end this video, I just want to give a quick look at the contents of the disc if you were to put it in your PC. As you can see, the file system is identical between both versions of the game, but here's just a quick look at it in case you were interested. And with all that said, that brings us to the end of this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, feel free to hit that like button. If you're new here and want to see more of these sorts of videos where we go sort of in depth on what you sort of get with the game, feel free to subscribe. One thing I forgot to mention is there will be high quality scans of the cover art, every single page of the manual, every single part of the poster in this version, as well as the discs. There will be high quality scans of those. Those will be in the description down below if you are interested in looking at those, downloading those, reading through the manuals for yourselves. There's some pretty cool stuff in there, so it's all in the description if you are interested. If you guys are interested in seeing a particular thing that you want us to unbox next, definitely do leave us a comment down below, and we'll see what we can do. Until then, this has been Shrev of the Sly Cooper Wiki, your #1 resource for anything and everything Sly Cooper. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.